estar como quiere or como quieres. This is a good one. This is a good one. What does this mean? Estar, to be, como, like, without the accent mark. It means like. Sometimes it means also how. But it depends. It depends the context. Estar como quieres. To be, like. Quieres, tú quieres comes from the verb querer, which means to want. To be like you want. Okay. To be like you want. The literal translation is not that good. It's not accurate at all. This phrase, by the way, you can say estar como quiere without the letter S, okay? Without this. Oops, without this. Or estar como quieres. Okay, so you can use both. It depends what you want to say. But let's see. Let's see the meaning of this phrase. This means, let's see what it means. To be hot, the meanings. There's more than one meaning. Very similar meanings though. To be hot, as in someone's hot, good looking. Very good looking, okay? To be hot or to be good looking. That's what you're saying. It could be, also like to be in shape, you're looking good, you're looking hot. Okay, essentially, that's what you're saying here. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's look at some examples and let's see how to use this phrase. Miguel está como quiere. If someone tells you this and you don't know the meaning of estar como quiere, you will be like, what are you talking about? Miguel está como quiere. Okay? This means Miguel is hot or just good looking, Miguel está como quiere. Miguel is hot, good or good looking. Excellent. So it's a very simple sentence. The only thing that we're doing here is we need to obviously conjugate the verb estar. Él está, Miguel está, Miguel is, como quiere, hot or good looking. Now, why are we using quiere and not quieres? The first thing is because you're saying this to someone, to your friend. For example, you're with your friend and you see Miguel passing by, then you can say to your friend, Miguel está como quiere. You're not saying this to Miguel, you're saying this to your friend. Okay? So that's why we need to use quiere. Él está como quiere. Okay? And also pay attention to, Miguel. You are conjugating this verb, querer, for this subject, Miguel. Okay? Él quiere. Él está como quiere. Okay? So essentially you are conjugating this for Miguel as well. So for him, for he, the personal pronoun él. So that's why just this is linked to this and this one is linked to this one as well. Okay? So that's how we know. I can change this. I can say, I'm hot, I'm good looking. So if you want to say that, you can say estoy, yo estoy. You don't need yo, okay? You need estoy. And that means I am. Okay? Not como quiere, because we need to conjugate the verb right here, this one, for me. For me, okay? Or for estoy, yo estoy. I mean, you don't see yo. Let me just put yo. as a reference. Let's include yo, just this time. So this one, yo estoy, makes sense. I am. But this one has to match yo as well. So yo estoy como quiero. Yo quiero. Okay. And you're saying I am hot. I am good looking. Okay. Or I am in shape. I'm looking good. Okay. So that's what it means. That's how you use this phrase. So technically, you have to know, you have to conjugate this and also this. Two verbs. Let's look at another example using this phrase, this common phrase. Okay. Estás como quieres. Estás como quieres. ¿Cómo le haces? ¿Cómo le haces? Estás como quieres. ¿Cómo le haces? Wow, we have como twice. One has an accent mark and the other one doesn't. So it's very common that if you see como in a question, you need to add an accent mark. Como, okay? Because also como can come from the verb comer. Yo como, I eat. Okay, so that's a big difference. But when you have a phrase already like this one, estar como quiere or como quieres, you don't need the accent mark because it's just a whole thing. It's one piece, okay? One meaning. Now, estás como quieres, ¿cómo le haces? This means you're hot. You're good looking. How do you do it? You know, we could be saying this to someone who is, who's in shape, someone who looks really well, really good looking. Someone who, I mean, there's so many situations where you can say this because the person can say, hey, I exercise every day. That's why I'm in shape. That's why I look hot. Or, hey, I got plastic surgery. I don't know. It's just genes. Who knows? So many situations. But essentially, you're asking, you're saying you're hot. How do you do it? What's your secret? Essentially, that's what you're asking here. Now, let's break this down really quickly. Tú estás, we don't need tú, but if you say estás, that means you are. Como quieres, so this is the rest of the phrase, hot or good looking. Como, how. Le, this is like saying como tú le haces. We don't need tú at all here. So it's like the whole phrase here, the whole question here is how do you do it? In English, you need all this. But obviously, if you say como le haces, this word right here comes from the verb hacer, which means to do. Okay, to do or to make. Le is a pronoun and it means him, her, you, it. It's an indirect object pronoun, a reflexive pronoun. And yeah, it's used a lot in Spanish, but essentially means him, her, it. So le essentially means eat. We don't have tú because we have the verb as reference. Tú haces. So that's why we don't have you. So there's no you. But we get it because of the verb. Excellent. ¿Cómo le haces means, remember that? How do you do it? ¿Cómo le haces? So that phrase, that question can be used in different situations. If you see someone, having a lot of money and you don't know how he or she's getting a lot of money, earning a lot of money, you can say, ¿Cómo le haces? You can ask that. ¿Cómo le haces? How do you do it? It's very similar to saying, what's your secret? I want to know how do you do it? Okay, ¿cómo le haces? ¿Cómo le haces? In this situation, we're talking about someone who is hot. So you want to know their secret, essentially. Excellent, excellent. So, estar como quiere or como quieres or como quiero, remember you can conjugate this and this, the two verbs. That means, to be hot, to be good looking. Excellent. Excellent. Any questions? Any questions?